Hi and welcome to this second part of the Blender Basics series. So in this part we're gonna look at the interface and how to navigate it. So most parts of Blender are built up of editors. So for instance, this 3D view here, this is an editor. Up here, this part of the interface called outliner. Down here we have the properties editor, or mostly referred to as the properties panel. Also down here we have a timeline editor, and any area of the screen which is occupied by an editor can be switched to any other editor. So in the top left corner of every editor we have a button. Here we have this button here. We have this button, this one here, and this one down here. These are the current ones that we have, and they all occupy or represent the current editor of that editor space. So for instance, I can change this into a 3D viewport. So now I have 3D viewport here and here, and if I just hold my middle mouse button and just move around, you can see that it just has a different view. But if I click on, for instance, the lamp here, you can see that the lamp becomes selected over here. So they are synced, so to speak. So you can't have two different 3D views working on being in like edit mode in one of them and object mode in another. So they are synced completely, only that you can have different views. Enough of that for now. Let's go back to the properties panel here. And you can just switch any editor to any other. And there are a bunch of editors inside Blender. Okay, now let's look at how we can rearrange windows, or editors, I should say. Now, if you, for instance, we can duplicate an editor. I can't, for instance, by going into a corner. I can't take any editor. You can see that the both cursor and turns into a cross. So if I'm here, I'm currently inside the 3D view, and I drag into the 3D view to my left. So and that duplicates the limit here is that you can only collapse the 3D viewport editor. For instance, I can do this the same, but I can drag down, duplicate down. Back the now I can't, and then I can just go in between here and rearrange the windows as I prefer. If I want to collapse a window, I can, for instance, take this window here and collapse both of these. Well, I can only collapse one at a time. However, I can go into this corner, and instead of dragging down or to my right, I can drag up into this window, and this arrow will appear and indicate to me that this editor will be it will be destroyed, and the bottom one will take its place. Now, destroyed might be a little bit of a rough word, since I can just bring it back, but I think you get the point. So that's the basics of how you rearrange the editors. You just delete editors and you add editors by duplicating. So when you have duplicated, you just change it into some other editor, whichever you want. I'm just clicking randomly. While the mouse hovers over one of these lines in between editors, for instance here, where there is a one-to-one editor, I can right click and say split area, and that will give me this white line here that I can, I'm just moving my mouse, I can actually move anywhere, and it will split whatever window I hover over at the point that I hover, and create a duplicate of the current editor that it's splitting. So for instance like that. And then I can also join area, and I can only join the areas that I clicked between, and I can decide which way. I just hover over and collapse one of them. So splitting, I can split wherever I want. and for some reason it used to split this direction this time. That's a bit weird. Split here and split here. Yeah, okay, that's new to me. I very seldomly use that feature. I mostly just go to the corner and split from there, and also join or collapse from there. We'll also take a look at the a quick look, I should say, at the workspaces. So we're currently in the layout workspace, and if we double click this, we can rename it. We also have a few different other workspaces, and if I just go to, let's say, modeling, it looks quite similar to the layout. That's the default. We can also go to sculpting. It's a bit different again. UV editing, and notice here that it's always the same cube even if we are in UV editing. And actually I think that this is a bug in my release of Blender right now, and that is that in some of these workspaces the workspace area up here disappears, and if you have the same problem in your build of Blender, you will just have to go to this line here between the top area and where the editors start, and just drag down, pull that down, and you will get that back. So text paint, shading, same bug there for some reason. Animation rendering has the same problem. Compositing, same problem. Scripting as well. Okay, so I just dragged those down and they're now okay for me. So apart from that, we can instead of just clicking on whichever workspace that we want, we can just hold Control and page up or down to cycle through them. We can also go to this plus here and add a workspace. Duplicate current, or we can add one, and the gray ones are the ones that we already have a copy of. We can still add, for instance, another UV editor here, and the first one will be called 001, and this one will be the new UV editing, and it will be the same. They will look the same basically. We can also add a new one, which hasn't been added before, and they should be white, but that is, it looks like that's also currently a bug. I'll just delete this one, so I'll just right click and we have delete. We can also right click and duplicate, and we have some other options, for instance previous workspace and next, which we already covered with the Control, page up and page down keys. Okay, so I hope this was somewhat informative, and I'll see you in the next part of this basic series. Okay, thank you for watching, bye.